What is up, Ninja? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to the PE Nintendo Switch and gaming news video that I have here for you guys in my village. Today we've got some great information for you, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So, Pocket Rumble developers explain why they missed the original targeted release date of March, if I'm pretty sure. And coming from one of the developers who worked on Pocket Rumble, they have an idea of the release date, but they weren't certain on it yet. The date they originally announced was early to begin with due to the miscommunication and technical kinks to it. Working out the kinks has taken longer than they expected. The team is hoping to submit the final build for the lot check just days from now. The lot check should take a week, and devs say no one passes lot check the first time through. So it does seem like this game is probably going to be more of a May or even June release, just based on everything that's going on. I understand that May is actually a pretty big month for third-party developers. We do have Minecraft, we have Disgaea 5 Complete, and we also have Ultra Street Fighter 2, the final challengers, coming in May. So I think if they could get it in May, that would be good for them, just because third-party content is really shining in that month. Although we do have Mario Kart 8 coming out on April 28th, which is pretty much a May title at this point. It's only 2 days left there, then it's May. So there's a lot of content for people to play. So maybe Pocket Rumble does get put into May, or maybe they even wait and it comes out in June. Either way, this game's been getting a lot of hype, and rightfully so, based on all the playthroughs that we've seen of it and the content that we've seen. If you're one of those Neo Geo Pocket fans, or just looking for a nice 2D fighter that's deep but also has some simple mechanics, then I think Pocket Rumble is going to be the game for you. And I think it's good that we're actually getting some fighting games on the Nintendo Switch, because at this point we really don't have anything at all. So we have Ultra Street Fighter, and then we have Pocket Rumble. So getting some solid 2D fighting games on the Nintendo Switch is good, and hopefully this game Pocket Rumble turns out to be as good as it looks. Alright, and moving on to the next article here. The Redout devs give a status update. Release date info coming later. So when is it coming? You know, we've been cautious in announcing release dates. After that initial period when we kept promising next month, we are maintaining the same meter of judgment here. So we'll hold an announcement until we're 100% certain, which, by the way, will happen soon. Yeah, but it's been forever. Are you stuck or something? Definitely not. Those who played Redout on PC know how dedicated we were in supporting the game, adding new content and releasing whatever we could achieve in reasonable time. Cockpit view, a whole new world, soundtrack, art book, and more will come. All of this had little impact on the console porting. Less allocated time, more assets, regression bugs, more optimization work. But that's a trade-off we accept, and even if we could take it back, we would do the exact same thing. PC gamers got more stuff early, console gamers will get a polished game with the same content. Everyone wins. Next thing, they kind of go into pre-orders a little bit, saying, why can't you pre-order the game if you don't even have a launch date? That's right, you can already pre-order physical copies of Redout for Xbox One, PS4, and Nintendo Switch. That's because for 66% of the platforms, we are wrapping up the final testing phase, so we're confident we can move to the printing and shipping in a few weeks. Again, we're not announcing a date here. Suffice to say, we are not too far from printing those physical copies. Then they also go into pre-orders as far as what people have as far as backlash with them and all of that. So Redout is coming at some point, guys. It's coming to PS4, Xbox One, it's already out on PC, and it's coming to Nintendo Switch. And this game, it's really coming off the heels of Fast RMX, because Fast RMX has pretty much set a standard for these kind of futuristic racing games on the Nintendo Switch. There isn't much, but the thing about it is that they started on the Wii U and they're really finishing up nicely on the Nintendo Switch. So hopefully Redout is as good as the PC version as far as the consoles go, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they have to offer and hopefully getting a release date sometime soon. We talked about May being a big month for third-party developers. Maybe this one gets pushed into June or July, maybe even afterwards. They're not really sure, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be before Splatoon 2. I'm hoping before Splatoon 2 we can get this game. The more games the merrier, but then again, you don't always want to overload a month. You want to have a good amount of game, consistent content. So they can pick a month that would be great for them. That would be cool. But there's some other factors that come into the way as far as the Xbox One and PS4 versions. Obviously, you want to release all of them simultaneously, so we'll see how the chips lay out. But are you guys excited for Redout on the Nintendo Switch or on another platform? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright, and moving on to the next article here. Battle Princess Madeline could see a physical release on the Nintendo Switch. So this is coming from the most recent Kickstarter update. We will be running post-Kickstarter page to offer you all a second chance to grab some cool rewards, and it also opens up support from people who want to pledge but had no credit card to do so. It's also not too late to get some great physical copies, maybe even on the Nintendo Switch and PS Vita, if we can make that happen. In fact, they're not ruled out by any means. They just need to be proven as running excellently on the hardware to the physical publisher first, and we're still not quite far enough in development to fully optimize the game engine yet. So hopefully this does get a physical release. I think old school games like this should always get a physical release based on these Kickstarters and things like that that can ask for extra money. There's always different things that you can do in order to try to get a physical release, and I think a lot of Nintendo Switch gamers like having that cartridge. It kind of brings back the old school memories. Heck, and even having the 3DS, people love the cartridges on 3DS. People love cartridges on PS Vita. PS Vita actually switched over, or Sony switched over, from having the UMD disc to cartridges, and so much more people said that they like those cartridges more than what the UMDs were. So I do think that, especially for a handheld platform, you always want to make sure that you have both options, as physical and digital, because just some people really like those physical copies. So let's hope it happens. Battle Princess Madeline is looking awesome. Let me know what you guys think about this news here. Do you want a physical copy of Battle Princess Madeline? Make sure you check out the link in the description below over to their page. Alright, and moving on to the last article here. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild developers scrapped idea of stabbing and resting on weapons following Shigeru Miyamoto's feedback. So not every idea made it into the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. For instance, Nintendo considered adding tiny people as well as the hookshot and beetle items. In a recent interview with GameSpot, the directors of the game point out that players would be able to stab their weapons into a wall. Doing so would let Link recover stamina. Midway through development, the team decided against including the mechanic. This was large in part due to feedback from Shigeru Miyamoto, who essentially vetoed the idea due to it being illogical. The developers thought about stabbing weapons into cracks or crevices, though it wouldn't work either, since you'd be limited in where it could be done. So it wouldn't just be everywhere, it would only be certain places. So here's what they had to say on the matter. Quote, "Until about halfway through the development, we had a spec where you could take your weapon, stab it into a wall. When your stamina gauge was dwindling, you could stab the weapon and kind of hang out and rest there." So the answer is that Mr. Miyamoto heard of the concept. He said, "You can't stand on the tip of a sword. This is strange." And when we explained, no, you stab it in, then he's like, no, it's not going to work. Another idea is that it's very hard to actually stab a sword into a big piece of rock. We considered that you can stab them into cracks or crevices in a wall, but you can't freely use that feature anywhere you want. So I decided not to implement it. As for Miyamoto's general involvement during development, here's what they had to say. So starting from the early stages of development, we had been constantly showing Mr. Miyamoto our progress. At times, we would even show him once a week what we'd been working on, because if we don't do that and then go face to face and present the idea, tables might be flipped. Upending the tea table. So this is a really interesting mechanic, but I do think that it was a good thing that they took it out, because it would only be available at some places, and you would be able to stab a sword, then like rest or just hang from the sword. Not really sure if that's something that would be better than typically what you can do when you run out of stamina. You have gear obviously that can help you with your stamina. Then you also have potions that you can drink. So I think it might take away from people actually making the potions and doing the cooking, so enhancing one of the other aspects of the game in order to just say, oh, well, I can just rest here, but it would only be in certain places. It wouldn't have been everywhere, according to the developers. So I do think it's a good thing that they just took it out, since it wasn't going to be a common thing. And they also have cooking in the game, which can help you recover stamina, which works just fine, in addition to different gear that you can use, which helps you climb faster and be more efficient with your stamina. So I don't think it would have really worked at all. I mean, especially since it was only certain places. I think it could have been a cool mechanic in some instances, but at the same time, with the cooking mechanic and being able to carry potions to recover your stamina, not really sure if it was needed at all. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future, and subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you ninja for the next video. Peace!